My people, mokuna share this video. Hey. Olusegun Obasanjo don't come out, don't come give Tinubu woto. He can't use the book where be say Segun writes about the jewel of Africa. TikTok say this present government, in fact, everything they that book, it represents this present government. Say this government who they see so say the millions of people within into poverty, it has been, in fact, the statistics report they give for that book, it don't show, say, man, the poverty level where they wait for us, not be here, the thing don't high where, hey, he can't talk and say, you know, see this government where they call Tinubu, so he said not be way for Nigerians at all. In fact, I go play this video, make una see him, make una see what he talk, make una hear what he talk. He say he pray make justice and make it take place. Say because he not pray for this kind of government for Nigeria. We be say that they raise touts. Now touts, now they say they walk around themselves. Then they raise up bandits. Now they draw this our oil subsidy. And then they come and say they want to stop the subsidy. Now they inside all the why you will be say if you not ask, say which people did this oil subsidy of this whole matter who they talk, so you know they let people talk. They go answer, okay, who are the main cabals of this oil subsidy? You know they let them talk. All of them go see the amount. So they don't go connect the dots. Join Senator Tinubu now they, you know, now they head all these touts. Now they send a message. If I name be the oil subsidy himself, hey my people, hey, make una watch this video. Make una watch him. You know, see end there, hey. The youth for Edo State come and say they don't want expensive government again. In fact, they want government to be say he's stingy. Yeah, make kokoroko. They're not gonna release 1 naira. He said because all the thing will be said Tinubu to say he want do or he don't do. They said if they add all of them together, and not reach anything. Say the man is deceptive. Say the man whether he bring the work or say they don't know. Say as they talk right now, make government cut down their cost. I talk them again. Say make government cut down their cost. Say no more bulletproof cars. They don't want to. Who they pursue now they go. Who they pursue now they go now they carry bulletproof cars. You see me they cut down the cost. See me they use smart cars when Nigerians they use. Me they do normal things when be say Nigerians they use. Hey my people, hey not be here. They say that palliative money we say one do or we say one do for Nigeria. Make it gather around together, make it do one better thing for Nigeria. Say they don't want the stupid money. The thing not see end there, oh my people. Even to the extent, see no lawyer. Because he talk about the 103 people who died. He said that list, all the teachers that they debunk, say, they don't mean to assassinate that paper. All those, they thought they debunk. He said, make it tell Nigerians. He said, na end side. He said, in fact, he said it's even more than that 103. He said, na end SARS, na those people for die. He said those dead body dead their neck. They don't know how they want to do, and then they say they want to give them mass burial. Hey, my people. He can't even read paragraph of that statement of that letter where they write. He can't read the last paragraph. He can't interpret what that last paragraph. Hey, my people. He can't interpret what the last paragraph talk. He said, "Look, Nigerians open their ear, may they open their eye, may they open every part where people say that they hear, that they see. Say this government, they don't mean well for anybody. Say they are selfish. He said the only reason, where be say they come government for their self-interest. Even for the thing, the full speech where Olusegun talk, he said talk the statement, say if you hear the reason where this president or governor say they come, say they want to rule Nigeria, he said una go run. He said they tell una the reason why they come serve, he said una go run. The thing not say stop there. Even Chris now won't come will talk say he believe in the judiciary. Say the judiciary, he say in believe say they go give their final verdict. He say we could not get that mind say judiciary they corrupt, they don't buy. They say no. He said even the judiciary and the thing and this same thing he see which way they did. He said because them they say they suffer, not say that they enjoy. If you say na the main government that they enjoy, but they will be say that they part of the government, they are also suffering. They know they enjoy. They know they ride all those luxury cars. They know they like live those big life. He says so. Then they say still one change, and they know say all eyes they on them because every group, every community, every international bodies they don't come talk for this election matter. They don't say this judiciary are the last hope of man. He says so they will not disappoint. The man use anti beat his chest. He said they're not going to disappoint. He said they're not going to go according to Tinubu bidding. He said all the fear will be say, Atiku the fear. He said not lie. He said all those things that political strategy to just say deviate our mind. Say, they're not going to give the right judgment. He said they go give the right judgment. He said he believe in the judiciary. Una still remember say Obisi talk and say him believe in the judiciary because it don't see favor a long time ago, my people. Hey, now this news now say I come quick shall I give you now make I tell now wetin dey happen, my people. Hey, I been make you tell no know about this video. Make una share am to talk say man the obedient they are leading nothing. I'm not say that in a share man. Hey, now disgrace go time and rapper go wear a cocoa shoe. In fact, the day when the judiciary go give their own verdict concerning this whole matter, I next chairman, anywhere where they see him, I can't dare in your ear, it looking at even need Jesus Christ. Because that man, be the genesis of this whole problem. What would they so? Because either I next chairman has done the right thing from the beginning. But you also say, this is not confused, you don't know what you want to do. I beg, Moku carry this thing, go people will be say they write the law, make the interpreter before we give them final judgments. No, in the middle of the night, while men slept. The Bible say they can't sow seed among the good seed. This man you're tossing a bats because bats they fly for nights. You're tossing a bat 9-1 win or a bat 9 win, my people. Now yeah, I rest my case on a big old TV board. Una well done, una bye bye yo. Hey, make una wash.
If you ask most of our leaders why they want to be in the position they are craving for, you will weep for your nation over their level of emptiness as far as development issues are concerned. What do they understand for peace, security, stability, predictability, development, growth, and progress to be actualized? I believe that peace, security, democracy, and prosperity must be taken together. Any leader that fails to understand any of these and fails to bring them together to deliver good governance for the welfare and well-being of the people, all the people, cannot contribute anything significant for claiming Nigeria as a jewel of Africa, let alone the jewel of Africa, and definitely will be far from contributing to Nigeria being the giant in the sun. In addition, or complementary to the issue of leadership is that of consistency and continuity of policies. We are never short of policies. And when you look into the archive, we have policies since independence that are still substantially relevant today. Policy is not much of our problem. Its implementation and sustainability are the problems. With almost every new administration in Nigeria, you will hear for the first time ever as if Nigeria is just created by them. There's no humility and understanding to know what have existed, how they have worked or not worked, what lessons to learn. Rather, it is usually a blanket condemnation, disapproval, or covering up of achievement of others in the past. We cannot build cumulatively on an edifice if we keep removing bricks that others put in place in the past. Reforms, yes. Total dismantling is destructive and retrogressive. Leadership is the key to unlock and remove any impediment to Nigeria's attainment of its divine stature and status and being kept a Lilliputian, with leadership issue resolved in terms of character, attributes, value, virtue, orientation, performance, and love of humanity, with love and fear of God. All other things will be given in terms of achievement, and Nigeria will become a giant in the sun. We move from potentiality to actuality. Added to continuity and consistency of policies, with reforms must be headhunting for the best possible persons under transformational leader to do the job for the glory of Nigeria and all Nigerians. In these connections, let me identify two of the major issues which are interrelated on the factors for all-round development. These are peace and security, which we cannot achieve without justice, equity, and inclusive society. And telling ourselves the truth, we have not done well on this course in the recent past, in the last decade and a half. And we also point at the issue of education, where over 20 million children that should be in school are not in school. We do not need an oracle to tell us the consequences of that for tomorrow. The skill acquisition, empowerment, and employment of youth will seem to be ignored or not to be appreciated. We do not need to look far for the remote causes of banditry, Boko Haram, kidnapping, and other organized crimes. We are living dangerously on a keg of gunpowder, driving more people into poverty through good policies poorly and thoughtlessly implemented, or bad policies and no policy at all. Our population is made up of men and women almost on equal numbers. We have not given enough appropriate and adequate attention to all aspects of preparing women for all-round development programs for a community, a state, a nation, or even the continent of Africa and the whole world. If we fail to get all hands on deck, we will be diminished in all our instruments and capacity.
This country is shocking us and you are dying.
I said this one.
I said, gentlemen, all day.
This one.
Gentlemen, all day.
We want all Nigeria to live above board equally. Now they have asked us to sacrifice, which we already sacrificed by allowing them to remove subsidy. We don't want them to use any car above 7 million or 8 million naira. They should cut down the cost of governance from the presidency, to the governor, to rep member, to House of Assembly member, and to the governors. Now they have huge chunk of revenue. We want them to use the money for the betterment of the people. This is not the time for them to marry many wives and take their girlfriend to Dubai. We want more money to trickle down to the people and allocate 110 billion for bulletproof cars, each member with 100 million worth of cars. In a country where people are suffering, we are hungry.
Reduce the cost of governance, and fix Nigeria. Go and use that 8,000 naira, put them together, build refineries, provide buses for the people, instead of distributing that meager amount of money that cannot even do anything. We say no, we reject that 8,000 naira.
We are here because we cannot breathe. Government should remove his leg from the neck of the poor. If we suffer, let's suffer together. You won't give us 8,000 naira on a monthly basis, but you want to use 110 billion naira and 70 billion naira to buy cars for those who are already earning millions of naira.
All right, Mr. Chris, I wanted to just narrow in again on the confidence of the judiciary. I mean, the public confidence. You have said that the judiciary understands that Nigerians are looking up to them. But do you think Nigerians have lost confidence? I mean, owing to that report that Shaitan mentioned earlier, alleging that Tinubu and the CJN, Ariwola, had a phone conversation on how to pressurize the presidential election petition court to rule in favor of Tinubu. You know, Nigerians understand that the CJN wields enormous influence in the presidential election cases, which, you know, most times end up at the Supreme Court. So I can understand also why the courts had to debunk that claim. But what does it say about the public confidence in the judiciary? This is my question to you, because, you know, be it as it may, they might come up with their ruling. Do you think Nigerians will trust that ruling? And I would like for you to actually address Atiku Abubakar's statement on Saturday, where he accused the APC of trying to compromise the judiciary by threatening them with anarchy and all of that. I'd like for you to address both, please.
Let me say clearly that there is something in the political amphitheater, there's something in the socio-political horizon that suggests that the people have some level of confidence in the judiciary. And I say this, if we didn't, we'll be on the streets. If we didn't, there will be anarchy by now. If we didn't, we won't be saying that we're looking up to the judiciary. If we didn't, you won't have the hashtag all eyes on the judiciary. We believe somehow that the judiciary will do what is proper, right, and right. Let me also say that the statement by His Excellency, the former Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, ditto that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his team trying to threaten and overhaul the judiciary is by surreptition trying to compromise the judiciary. Don't forget that quickly the judiciary has come to try to build public trust and to say that they are not being compelled by the executive to knee-jerk our democracy, to threaten our democracy, or to give wrong ruling. I want to say with all sense of respect that I believe that the judiciary will do what is right for three strong reasons. They understand that the masses of our people are better politically aware now than ever. And they understand that the plethora of reportage and information regarding the last election scores the election as the most flawed in our recent history. Everyone understands the monumental electoral larceny that happened on the 25th of February. So that's point number one. Nigerians are watching and expecting that the judiciary will do right. Point number two is that the presidency does understand that somehow, should the judiciary follow the law strictly, they will lose. And so they're trying to threaten the judiciary by saying that there will be anarchy if they rule that the last election was truly flawed. Point number three, my principal, Peter Gregory Obi, has said in no uncertain terms that he believes that the judiciary will rule according to the facts before it. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has said in no uncertain terms that they will not accept anything but justice. And I want to say without equivocation that the civil society believes that nothing but justice will sustain our democracy. So I want to believe that you understand the urgency of now.
Yes.
I also want to believe that the presidency and in the judiciary understands the urgency of now, that what Nigerians expect is nothing but justice. And so I am confident, like I said, that the judiciary will do right.
All right, Chris. But you know, Atiku also alleged that the harassment of the judiciary is a playbook from 2019 when they removed CJN Onogen and replaced him with Tanko Mohammed, who himself was later accused of corruption by his colleagues at the Supreme Court and resigned shamefully. That is from Atiku. But the APC government, they also said that the APC government never went after Tanko as they did on Norge's case, because it was never about corruption, but about the election. I'd like for you to, try to respond to that aspect of his final address.
Very importantly, we've seen the tendency of the APC, the All Progressive Congress, to try to threaten and overhaul the judiciary. We saw it from the immediate past, President Muhammadu Buhari, when they ransacked, harassed, harangued, and threatened the judges. We've seen a litany, a chain of where, you remember, like you cited, the case with the former CGN on Ogan. But I live in a day where the masses of our people are better aware and awoken than they ever were. I live in an age where we have a movement in this country called the Obedient Movement, fierce, passionate, and determined. I live in a country, and I'm one of their leaders, I live in a country where people are saying that what is proper, right, and right must be done. I live in a country and in an age. That's why I will quote the little saint called the Mahatman from India, Mahatma Gandhi. He said something that is very instructive, that there comes to a time in the life of a people and a nation where even the devil understands the urgency of that moment, and the devil has a predilection to doing right. That's strong. And that's where we are in our historicity. The people in the villa understands the urgency of now. The people in my hometown of Ibuzo understands the reality of this moment. The people in Lagos, in Abuja, across our geopolitical zones understands that our democracy is more than ever before threatened by injustice, and that what must be done to sustain our democracy is justice. And so I believe that the Supreme Court, headed by Ariwola, the CJN of the country, the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, that they understand that nothing but justice can sustain our democracy. So I believe and I expect them to walk strictly within the confines of the law and refuse to be knee-jerked, refuse to be threatened, refuse to be overawed by the executive into passing a judgment that will be against the facts before the Nigerian people and the facts before the courts of law. I believe that our democracy will fare better if they rise up to the challenge and the urgency of now.
Let me take the memo for the statement of the state government, one after the other. Let's dissect what the state government said. But just a moment, you said something that there's nothing new. But it might be new to a lot of Nigerians who think 103 bodies to be buried following that escalation. Isn't that mind-boggling?
Well, nothing surprises us again in Nigeria. We have, unfortunately, governments that don't think that they have responsibility to their citizens. They think that they are just there to, go about in convoys, enjoy their lives, and so on and so forth. It's surprising that, 103 you claim of your citizens. You want to go and give them a mass burial because you cannot trace them, you don't know who they are, you don't know, It's surprising. Well, I think that if you look at that statement again, the ones they were trying to explain, let me read out the last paragraph of it to you, the government reaction when people took them up, or when they thought that people were reacting. The last paragraph says, the government therefore appeals to social media rumor mongers to please allow the hapless families of the unclaimed loved ones a deserved closure. How can the families of the unclaimed loved ones have a deserved closure when they don't even know that, their loved ones are the ones being going to be given mass burial? If they have families and they know that these bodies are there, they will probably have gone to claim them, but they don't know. So how can then the government say that they want to do this so that the hapless families of the unclaimed loved ones, would have a deserved closure? There can't be closure when you have your, anyone missing from when a person, when any member of the family is missing, the family can't have closure, until you see. I think the government is much more interested. They are much concerned about proving that these people were not killed at Lekki Toll Gate. They were killed elsewhere, Okwaba, some other places. The important thing is that they were killed. And in other countries, if you value the lives of your citizens, you go all out to see to it that they are identified. What is the police doing about it? We have all manners of security agencies, police especially. When you discover, you remember there was a time, even it wasn't a complete body in the US and the UK. The body was discovered in River Thames, and the effort that the Metropolitan Police put into discovering, tracing, the body back to Nigeria to say, oh, this body, and they were able to confirm eventually the identity of the person. But here in Nigeria, we even see corpses on the road and people move by, they are not bothered because the government itself doesn't bother. It's not, they really don't care about as long as you pay if they want taxes from you, you pay.
This is Bod TV Bod. In case the first time you come here, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more uploads.